a couple
maybe like a
different
hub for
additions to
streaming
it.
as well, which is
Maybe something.
something you and I don't necessarily share the 100% the same opinion, but I hear where you're coming from on that, and this may support your theory on that part, as far as a streaming like type device that's relatively affordable. The slim down of the existing Xbox One, you're talking about rumored $175, $150, basically micro version of an Xbox One. And then you got Scorpio, which is the new hot chick in town that basically is anywhere from 6 to 8 teraflops, which basically means they haven't set the existing GPU in stone, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's all exciting stuff, man. People get a little bit down on hardware, but it's I find it interesting. I always find it fun. So.
I got you. Yo, Mega. Let me know what have you heard, and give us a little detail how you feel about this.
Well, excuse me. Basically, I've heard the same thing that they were going to probably make a diskless, smaller version of the X1, so it wasn't, so it could be cheaper, and then they could go straight into just doing all digital, and then they were going to keep the what kind of like the original X1 like we have, kind of, maybe make another upgrade, upgradable version, which the version I was not going to support, like the PlayStation Neo. And then they're coming out with this big massive one that has this whole with this new terminology with teraflops. I never heard what the hell that was. So
T-flops, man.
yeah. So anybody that's in the streets that's talking about teraflops now, shut up, because that is a term that I've never heard gamers use before.
Dude, I could almost guarantee
ridiculous.
you 70% of the people out there that are talking T-flops right now, they don't even fathom exactly what it means. But I don't know. I used to listen to Red Gaming Tech a lot, and he got into the whole
Mhm.
T-flops thing and stuff like that, and said basically how that measures the power of hardware, and I could kind of see that. But yeah, go ahead. What else were you thinking about, man?
No, it was just basically just this big one that's supposed to come out next year. That sounds crazy, and it's supposed to be upgradable. So I guess basically you could keep it up with just install new tech inside of it, new hard drives, or graphics cards, so you can have the power to just keep up with the PCs. I guess if you
Now,
just want to be, if you're just one of those power hungry people that just want graphics beyond graphics, which is a smart move. I mean, they're cornering the market at every facet. Like for one moment, for the people that really don't care that much for graphics, or for the people that just want the elite. So I think that's really smart.
yeah, I do have to shout out Crap Gamer. I was watching his podcast yesterday, and he was talking about how basically Microsoft is covering every parameter. You have that entry level, you have like that whatever you want to call it, like that Xbox stick, whatever you want to do for the really light stuff. You have the entry level console, and then you have that one that I'm looking forward to. Being codename Scorpio. I want people to know it's codename Scorpio. All right, I'm having fun here with the graphic and stuff like that, but it's just the code name. Most likely, Microsoft is going to change it. I heard a lot of people say that they want to actually keep that name, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. As you can see, I can work with that a little bit. As far as
Mhm.
the whole upgradable thing is concerned, now when they talked about the Scorpio, I didn't see anybody say about it being upgradable, but I am almost I'll put it. I'm like 88% sure that that's what it's going to be. I mean, I would go a full 100%, but I want to leave a little leeway there. Um, but I'm really excited about this. I know there were rumors about the whole 10 T flops thing, and I know that Don can tell you because one of the first things we started talking about after we were talking, like we met each other and we were playing Halo and stuff, was the future of Microsoft, the future of gaming and stuff like that. And I told him, uh, I believe a new system is coming out in 2017. And I told him from the information I got, the guy was saying like 10 T flops and stuff like that. I didn't believe the 10 T flops. Don, right? I didn't believe that. That was the
No, I don't think either one of us really did, just because of the cost prohibitive measures of what it takes to do 10 T-flops just in a GPU, and that's not the only thing you need to fix. I mean, you have to address the different types of RAM, CPU, a lot of other stuff. You can't just add 10 T-flops and expect things to work right.
I got you. Now when it comes to this new machine, I've had people, I've been talking to a few people about this, and some people don't understand. They're like, well, how can they come out with this console? I thought it takes like so many years of research and development and all that good stuff before a new console could come out. Now, I tried to tell them with the x86, there's not too much R&D that needs to go in on a more powerful system. Now, do you guys agree with that?
You want to go first, Kmega? Because I'm
Uh,
probably
y-
going to take the stage on this one for a while.
you go right ahead, brother. I agree.
The spotlight
I agree.
is
When it
on
comes
the
to the
Don.
you just go
Well,
right ahead.
here's the deal. Like, all right, so back when people are all upset about games going to my Xbox games going to your PC and vice versa, I think some of that frustration was definitely misplaced, because the guy that spends $1,000 on a graphic card or does some crazy computer rig, that's the guy that basically subsidizes your future console, right? So more people to buy that hardware from a PC perspective, they kind of keep things kind of moving along in regards to that. So until price comes down, and that's the case with anything. It could be features in a car, it could be features, you know, I work in the bike industry right now, but high-end $7,000 bikes now are going to be $3,000 bikes in 2 or 3 years from now. All right, and the only way that's possible is the people that have the money to pay for making that stuff happen in the first place. That price gets trickled down. So yeah, it just makes sense that that you're going to be able to do it in that short period of time. You're testing all the different hardware, and here's the thing: Microsoft's constantly testing hardware, anyways. They're the guys that provide all the software to make all this stuff work, right? So
Hmm.
it's not like all of a sudden like they, you know, all their development, all their efforts, and all their money is not going to
All right,
waste,
Don. So
on
basically,
that sort of stuff.
with what you just said, so basically you're saying Microsoft's kind of got that inside track, that fast ring, since they make the software for these devices and for these devices to be compatible with the software. So they basically know what the future is before a lot of other people, a lot of other places know, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're in the know. They have to be in the know. That
Hmm.
I mean, Nvidia and AMD and Intel and fill in the blank, right? I mean, they depend on those guys, right?
Yeah.
And when stuff's not working right, they have to go to Microsoft and vice versa. I mean, a PC is not like an Apple computer where it's if you look at an Apple computer, it's actually very more console based, where they nitpick from a small segment of hardware, and that's the hardware that they have, right?
Hmm.
Or if you look at more like a PC, I mean, anybody can produce hardware and software to run on Microsoft software. So yeah, they're already in development, regardless if they stop Xbox for 10 years and then come back after 10 years. Technically, they're already always been in development in regards to that. So
Hmm. All right, guys. Now, oh, go ahead, Kay. Go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing.
Oh, then go ahead and agree.
Yeah,
Say, yeah, that's right.
yeah. Just that's absolutely right, Don. You got it.
Oh man.
nice.
Now, when it comes to hardware, I had one of my friends on Twitter kind of joke with me, and he was like, throw in that Nvidia, was it the 1070 or the 1080 in there, and we would be all set with that. And he said he was joking around, but I was like, dude, not for anything. I've seen the roadmap with AMD and their GPU tech, um, with the Polaris, eventually going up to the Navi, which is something I'm really interested in. Navi GPU architecture for people who don't know, there's not a lot of information out there yet, but it has to deal with scalability. It looks like it has multiple GPUs working together, like smaller ones. They're talking about crazy performance, low power intake and stuff like that. It looks really cool. Um, so I'm thinking more or less stick with AMD, especially if it's an upgradable console. Because if you look at that, if that Navi comes out by the end of 2019, like I said, Microsoft is absolutely brilliant with thinking up of a modular console as long as they keep the price points low. Because anytime any other company comes out with something, they could just come out with an add-on that they will constantly be on top of things. What do you guys think about the modular? Like, is it more acceptable now to think about an upgradable console than when you first heard about it? Because I know I heard a lot of flack at first. They're like, "Oh, we're not PC gamers," and this and that. They didn't even think about what the price point might be. They just automatically kind of downplayed it as, "Well, we're not PC gamers. We're console gamers and stuff." Do you guys see it as being a little more acceptable now? Now that people have heard it?
Well, it's just like with digital games. I mean, there's so many people. I mean, I know it's still down when it comes to actual going to the store and buying a hard copy, but it's increasing. And I know we can all vouch and say that there are so many of us that are playing games, buying games digital now than, more than ever. I got so many games that's digital, and I got probably maybe about 5 games that's hard copy. I mean, it's just much more convenient. And the only games that I will not buy that's digital, I mean that's a hard copy, is like digital, I should say, is sports games, because every year they come in and I could just trade those games in and put that money towards the new iteration. But it's what I'm saying, it's just one of those things where the old gamers that just want to stick it to the old times don't want to accept that there's changes coming to the console market, and it's going to benefit. So I mean, for the people that want to talk about resolution and power and all this was all PC talk. So obviously it's migrating over here to the console. So why not have an upgradable console? I think that it would benefit everybody.
Mega, that whole thing about the talk, how everybody's talking about the power and the resolution, how that's PC talk. That is an absolutely incredible point. When people started talking about the resolution of games, like I was sitting back with a puzzled look on my face, and I'm gonna be very frank here with like that what the fuck look on my face. It's like, if the game looks good, I'm sorry, I'm not sitting in front of my TV and counting all the pixels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The resolution.
You're doing it wrong if you're doing that. To be honest with you,
Dude,
I
the
mean,
whole resolution thing ran rampant, man. Like, people were
yeah.
like, a new game, like a new trailer would come out, and it was before Digital Foundry decided, hey, let's take these highlighted game clips from trailers and see what resolution they're in and stuff like that. But they're like, I was like, yo, that game looks awesome. People were like, yeah, but what's the resolution? It's like, what?
Yeah, like nobody in the hood was talking about motherfucking resolution. Like, we would just say, "Oh, them graphics is tight, man. That's it." Now you got motherfuckers that's talk about, "Yo, man, what's the resolutions and all this?" Like, what are you talking about, man? That makes no sense. I never listen to watch Digital Foundry. I don't care if the game looks good on my television. It looks good. I don't care. I mean, now, since I'm dealing with PC, I care about the frames per second, more than I do about the resolution, because there's just other ways and gimmicks that the developers make to make games look good, but they might have a lower resolution. I mean, look at Rise, you look at the Order 1886, and those things don't matter, because when you look at when you got the eye test and it shows that game looks really good, that's all that matters. That's all that should matters. But hey, I mean, the resolution babies is winning the argument. So I guess PlayStation started it, and now Microsoft's like, hell, we'll finish it. We'll just give you what you want. You really want it, then here you go.
Well, in any group or community, man, it seems like the minority yells the loudest. You know what I'm saying? I believe there's still a
Hmm.
bunch of people out there. I know on my X1, I such a vibrant community, man, and it is about the games. Like we play the games. It's not about, oh well, there's so many pixels missing on this. This game's trash. It's about the fun factor, the immersion, the gameplay, and I'm glad. I'm very happy and I'm very proud to be a part of a community that still looks at games for what they should be, and that's overall fun. All right. Um,
Right.
Now, in terms of resolution, I gotta give the Don. I gotta give him his time to shine here. He came up to me before we went live, and we were talking about resolution in terms of dynamic resolution. Hey Don, can you let the people know exactly what we were talking about with that?
Yeah, so I mean, so think about it's easier to actually think about in frame rate, and then we'll translate over to resolution. So you hear about this on PC all the time, right? The frame rate's unlocked, right? So when a frame rate's unlocked and you have more powerful hardware, right? The frames per second of that game goes up, right? So it'll go from say 30 to 60 depending on your hardware. Some of these PC guys are touting, over the 100 frames per second, that sort of thing, and that's great. That's awesome. That helps out there, but that's basically it's written in the code saying, hey, if there's available resources, take advantage of it. It's uncapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the case of dynamic resolution, you're looking at something kind of similar, honestly. And we don't know exactly how that code is written. It is kind of more of a DX12 feature set. But if you think about dynamic resolution, the way it works is if there's not available hardware, not available resources from that hardware, it scales down the resolution, right? Well, just like an uncapped frames per second resolution, you can look at the basically the pixels that's being displayed is uncapped as well. So if the code is written in that way, you can definitely do that. Now, what's interesting is this is a hardware feature of the current Xbox One. Um, so what that means is this is not just code from, hey, this developer decided to do it this way. This is part of the hardware. So if the code's written to say, hey, this hardware can do this, uh, then it's going to allow it to go up. And I think that's what you're gonna see with not weird things with the Xbox One, but you'll see it with different hardware. You'll see that your current game that you have that you plug into your new machine, that bam, if it has a dynamic resolution, they left that uncapped, then you're going to be able to see that all of a sudden bump up, and the developer's not going to have to do a thing.
Okay.
You just plug in your disc and turn on your new Xbox Scorpion, and you're good to go.
All right. Now, here's the thing, because I thought this was really interesting when we were talking about this off air. And I pointed to something. Any of you guys play, what is it? The tank game. Battle of
World of
Tanks.
Tanks.
World of
World
Tanks,
of
right there.
Tanks.
World of
All right.
Tanks.
World of Tanks. Now, when people started talking about World of Tanks, people got confused between the resolution and the texture resolution. And see,
Yeah.
this is when you told me that the games, because it's a hardware feature, as long as the resolution remains uncapped, it can go up, even further or whatnot. Now the whole thing is, but that's not really going to make that much of a difference to us guys. And I believe there's a lot of there's a lot of gamers out there, a lot of people in the chat and stuff like that that will probably agree with me. The resolution of the overall game isn't going to mean that much if the textures, all right, if the textures are at a certain resolution, that the textures are really what makes the game look that much prettier. All right, and it
Yeah,
doesn't really,
that's
it's not really counting the pixels on the screen.
that's where the real detail really
Hmm.
is in the textures, draw distance, polygon count, those sort of things, and that's something honestly analyzing software can't analyze.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see it visually, but you can't get like a number
yeah,
unless you have like the original code and you know what it's pumping out. So
I got you. I mean, overall, this is something I've been trying to tell people for a long time when it comes to Microsoft, and it's not like they're gonna not support the X1 anymore because I mean, look, they even came out in this rumor or credible rumor. I guess we'll call it a credible rumor because the guy's so close to Microsoft or whatnot. But they're also talking about a Slim for the X1. And with the Slim, they said it's going to be 40% smaller than the one you have now. Um, this is going to the platform thing that I was talking about with everybody. They're not going to stop supporting the X1. They're going to keep supporting the X1 and then the Scorpio and then whatever upgrades that comes with it because now it's about the platform. Not only that, they are invested in the PC gamer space. They're still invested in the mobile space. I know a lot of people were kind of flipping out about the whole Microsoft selling Nokia and stuff like that, but they're still making Windows 10 mobile, and they'll make Windows 10 mobile attractive by games being able to be scaled down and played on your tablet, on your phone, as the hardware progresses in those areas. So that's what's going to make the Windows 10 mobile, attractive to people. Microsoft is kind of doubling down on their platform. I believe they're giving the gamer exactly what they want, and that is the ability to play your games wherever you are on whatever hardware you prefer to play them on. Do you guys agree with that?
Absolutely. That was the another excuse me. Another point that I was going to make is that when I say that they're trying to get the market to go their direction is the fact that if you want to go cheaper, if people don't really care about all the resolution and power and all that, then you have a smaller version to get. If you just want to get the original X1, get that. If you want the powerful one, you can get that. That way, nobody can complain about, well, this, I've just bought an Xbox One, and now, you want me to buy another one next year because all of these are supposed to be integrated. They're going to have the backwards compatibility plus forward capability. So, and then they're going to be also doing the Windows 10 thing with the PC. So it's just one ecosystem that is just going to operate as one, which Phil Spencer's been preaching about this for a long time. And then also to your point, Don, about I know that there's a new AMD chip that's coming out next year. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why the new system is coming out with that new AMD chip. So, and that's supposed to be very, very powerful. I don't know all the ins and outs about it. You guys are more into that than I am, but you know what I'm saying? That's why when Don says he's going to take it over, then go right ahead.
Go right ahead, man.
You just go right ahead. I'm a gamer, you know what I'm saying? Just have the shit to work and operate for me, and then I'm ready to go. But that's the thing I think that will resonate with all type of customers and make a lot of PlayStation guys come back to Xbox because of the fact that they'll have other options, and that's something that PlayStation is not really offering.
So to expand on Kmega's point, so we've all experienced the 360 and obviously the PlayStation 3 era, right? And how long that lasted. And it was interesting if you think about it. There's all sorts of different customers that are kind of lumped into that crew, right? You got people that after 5 years they're like, I'm out. I want something new, right? You got people at 7 years and no, I'm out now. I want something new. And then you got people, after 10 years plus, you're like, I'm not moving on, right? And this strategy allows people to just kind of do what they want. Does that make sense? And no one's being held back by one group or another.
Exactly. It won't have like with the Neo and the PlayStation 4, it feels like there'll be the have and the have-nots because it's already getting started, and they're going to start to eat their own by saying, well, I got the more powerful system, why you don't have it? Here it's going to be more of the, if we're all playing together, and I'm thinking that the PS4 and the Neo will coexist together, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? With this, it's not where in the Xbox community, if we're all playing the same game on Xbox Live, I don't think anybody cares. I mean, my boy B Shadows was playing Killer Instinct on the PC, while me and Mr. 100 and a couple of other us guys was all playing on the X1, and nobody knew that he was playing until he said it, and it was just, and it flowed beautifully. So what they got in store for us, nobody's going to feel like they're getting outdone because everybody's just going to be playing together. So that is just perfect. That's smart. That's really smart.
Yo, Kay, I do have to say, I have to shout out to Mooch, man. Mooch, if you're out there listening, I got to give you a shout out because, uh, me coming in as a moderator to this, man, I hear segues all the time. And, Kmega just hit me off with a couple of them. And I actually just forgot it just because I was going to shout out Mooch. But, all right, when it comes to yeah, here we go. When it comes to crossplay and stuff like that, there was also news. I do want to throw this in here with the whole Scorpio thing. Um, People started going crazy yesterday over Halo 5. All right, they started going crazy. There was people saying how I guess there was a post in NeoGAF saying Halo 5 is going to PC. And if you look at what was actually being said in the article that they posted, they did talk about the initiative that Microsoft is doing to kind of integrate Xbox and Windows all together, to where their exclusives are going to come out for both the Xbox and Windows 10, like in terms of PC and stuff. I think it actually goes beyond that. I think because they're focused on the platform. It's not the fact that it's coming out for Xbox and PC. It's just the fact that they're coding the game for the platform so it's able to be played on both. So why not put it on both? All right, and then with the scalability, eventually mobile and stuff like that. Um, I want to let people know when they talked about that article, it wasn't. They said future iterations of the Halo series. All right, people started jumping the gun. They're like, well, Halo 5 is going to PC and stuff like that. There are no plans at this point in time. All right. Did you guys see this? I want to know, Mega, Don, did you see this about Halo?
I know people
Yeah.
are always anytime anything PC is mentioned, people press the fire alarm. You know what I mean? And get all freaked out. But I mean, I don't care if Halo 5 comes to PC or vice versa. If there's crossplay, just make it so they have to run a controller, make sure they have to be booted into Xbox Live, those sort of things. Have precautions that makes the play space fair. And at the end of the day, all the naysayers, it will all blow over. But you gotta hold to your guns, and you gotta release it when it's ready. You can't just kind of do almost the universal platform like you see with saw with Gears, and you saw with a little bit of a Quantum Break. You can't have those missteps. You just got to do it right,
Well,
right
I
out of the
heard
gate.
I heard with Quantum Break. Quantum Break was I forgot, it was either AMD or Nvidia that the graphics card. I believe it was Nvidia graphics cards were
It was
having the issue.
NVIDIA.
Yeah,
It
they
was
were having
NVIDIA.
the issue.
Yeah.
All right, I
The
believe
same with
Which
Gears,
is
though. Same with Gears.
it was Nvidia with Gears as well.
love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you love or hate AMD or Nvidia. Like you got to understand, like that PC market loves Nvidia. Regardless of I run AMD and all my stuff. Regardless of that, like they love Nvidia.
Not for anything, but hold on. Let me just stop for 1 second. Not for anything, but at one point in time, everybody loved Motorola when it came to cell phones. But that
That's
that
true.
came to an end. You know what I'm saying? The
But
iPhone
yeah,
came out and
but
gave so many
he
features.
he's right though. Don is right. Everybody talks about NVIDIA. You don't really hear that much about Intel, but it's mostly all NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I went to AMD is because of the few people that I knew that was helping me, work on building my PC, and but I have not had any problems with any of my games since I've had AMD. It's the other people that got the NVIDIA that has the problems, and so. You can keep going, Don. I
But see,
just wanted to just elaborate and say,
No,
I
no. I
agree
mean, you guys both have good
because I
points.
hear it
Yeah,
all
they,
the
they,
time.
they both have good points. And then somebody that doesn't even use that hardware, like I'm kind of defending a brand that I've had nothing but bad luck personally myself with.
oh goodness,
Hmm.
But I haven't
dude, you
had good
better
luck
watch
with
out,
it.
man. You're gonna get some hate on Twitter now.
I haven't had good luck with Nvidia. That's just it is what it is, right? I mean, and if other people have had great luck, that's fine. But the point is, the majority of that PC base currently uses NVIDIA. That represents your Windows Universal app that you're trying to push, right?
Hmm.
So you got to have that spot on. that market is also used to not having things released day in and day out with console. I would almost willing to bet they almost kind of don't care. They just want their stuff to work better and take advantage of the hardware they have and be stable, right? So, give that customer base what they want. I don't care if Halo goes to that, but you have to understand that it is a console first game, so everything has to be controller based. You have to have everything. We don't want cheating on consoles, so that's the first thing that will piss off that audience, right?
Well,
But
I
you also
think
got to
that's
make
one of the
sure,
reasons why Halo 5 hasn't, like, there hasn't been anything said about it going to PC yet.
yeah,
Anyway, I know
and
the
they're
forges,
still
the
working
custom
that stuff
maps.
out.
Yeah,
I mean that stuff doesn't happen overnight, right? So you don't want to kill the franchise with also releasing on one platform, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're just like, oh man, that screws everything up. So I mean, long story short, they have to get NVIDIA right for now, right? We're you know who knows? NVIDIA and AMD may become the same company down the road. We have no idea, right? But
things change
the
pretty
the
quickly in business, man.
Well, Microsoft and AMD might,
yeah, we don't
come
know.
on. Remember,
I
We
don't,
don't
I
know
don't think
yet.
that's gonna happen, guys.
that rumor has not. It might not happen, but I mean that rumor has not died yet. So you never know.
All right, let me
And
just say
there,
something real quick. All right, with like the whole creating DirectX 12, AMD was really close on that, and I think what AMD is what they did was kind of genius for themselves. Within helping create the software, the API, I believe they kind of got Microsoft either with them knowing or not knowing to kind of favor their GPU architecture and where they're going in the future. And I think they kind of put that into the DirectX 12 as they were creating it. All right. So can NVIDIA will work on DirectX 12 no problem, but it's going to inherently be easier for AMD's GPU architecture to run games, created with DirectX 12. And I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
they're
was
ahead of the curve
that was
for sure.
absolutely genius. If I'm looking at it like the head of AMD, I'm like, yep, got one. Drops the mic, like we got the future. Let's go. Um,
Mhm.
but I that's what I think they did. But I mean, all in all, like, I've been trying to tell people about the system. Do I really care about the Slim? The only thing I care about with the Slim is when they said 2 terabyte hard drive. That that's nice right there. Come on, guys, the 2 terabyte. Would you guys trade it in for a 2 terabyte?
Man, I don't know. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go big. I'm like, man, just give me the big dog. I don't care about just having just a regular. That's why I said I wasn't going to support just having some kind of you know slightly upgraded system. To me, that's just a waste of time and effort. Just make a new that will give the shock and awe treatment to all the resolution babies out there. That's the Scorpio is what it sounds like it's going to be. So I'm like, well, let's go for that. I don't think anybody that has a system right now would downgrade unless they just want to have just multiple systems throughout their house, for maybe their kids or, maybe in their spare room, whatever. But it's just, I think that's for more new adopters
I
because
got you.
there's still a lot of 360 and maybe not that many PlayStation 3, but I know there's still a lot of 360 gamers out there that's still waiting to migrate over.
All right, I got you. I mean, I did 2 terabyte. 2 terabyte sounds good. I mean, I already have an external hooked up to my X1. I have the elite version of the X1, so I'm not gonna trade mine in. But I will give this one to my wife who's got a regular X1, and then when the Scorpio comes out, I will be getting that for myself. So, um, I basically have one more question for you guys when it comes to the Scorpio. All right, everybody's talking about the power and everything like that, but um, I'm a gamer, man. I want new experiences and stuff like that. And with this system being significantly more powerful, uh, what features do you think you might get with this? Like, what gameplay experiences do you want, from this system? Let's start with Mega. Mega's a big time gamer, man. You had to think about this at least some point in time.
Well, yeah, in some degree. I mean, I'm still kind of in shock that this is all coming through. I just was like, wow, damn, this is actually real. So the one thing that I would always wanted that I thought the X1 was gonna have was that it's the kind of that I don't know how to say it really. It's the where you play in the game, and let's say that the game will like if an explosion and it would go out on to like outside of your television. I forgot what that was called. Where
Oh, the
In the
Illuma
room
Room type
stuff is what
effect.
you're referring to.
yeah. That right there, I was hoping that that was real, and I would love to see that come. And then just for anything, just see bigger, better games. I mean, more IPs, of course. I mean, to me, it's all about the games than more than anything than just having some little cutesy stuff. But that right there would have been really cool for me.
I got you. I got
So
you.
yeah.
Don, do you have any ideas, or you want me to
Well,
take it first and then?
yeah. Well, I know what's one of the things we already know what's going to happen, and regardless if you like VR or the idea of VR or not, I'm not a huge fan of it to be honest with you. Um, that's something that was part of the kind of the developer announcement that leaked out to us as well. So, um, the system's gonna be powerful enough to do VR, but not take a step back, right?
Yeah.
That's what we all want. If you want us to have this new experience, that's great, but don't ask us to take a step back in visuals, right?
Mhm.
Or experience or gameplay. So that's going to be one of the experiences we are going to see, as far as that goes. Me personally, what I do want to see, um, I want to see more of, I don't know the best way to kind of describe this. Um, it, I want anytime you give developers more tools, right? That's my goal. I'm going to be eventually, sometime in my life, I'm going to be a developer. I'm actually am right now. I'm working for a small studio, but we're talking big time developer. And those
Yeah.
guys, their ability to rapidly prototype things, and when you give more and more power to anybody, any developer to bigger time developers, they're going to be able to be a little bit more creative. Um, they don't have to optimize code nearly to the same amount as they had to in the past, which is a double-edged sword. It's a good thing and a bad thing, right?
Mhm.
But I think we're going to start seeing the ability to kind of rapidly prototype concepts and ideas. And goes with the Neo and honestly the newer Xbox. So we're going to see a little bit more of that. Personally, I don't know. I just want better graphics. I'm a graphics guy. I do 3D graphics. I do that.
Well,
I know what's being held back, right? What people don't understand, like this is me going off a little bit of a tangent, and this goes towards like resolution and stuff like that. People don't understand when a creator, somebody who creates content, they create textures at such a high resolution that can't be played on any hardware. They create models at a resolution that can't be really done on any hardware game engine, right? And then those resources are scaled back. They're optimized, right, to work on a particular piece of hardware, right?
Hmm.
But they're always downscaled from what they originally were, right? That's the reason why we have all the details that we have in games today. So when I was playing the newest Doom, that game looks great. It runs at 60 frames per second. It has all sorts of different lighting effects, all that sort of stuff. But I know what it's missing. I know essentially what those resource images used to look like, right?
Okay.
So it can look even better. And so what you have is artists, and let's throw musicians in there and that sort of stuff. Their content's not going to have to be scaled down as much on these newer pieces of hardware, but it can still be scaled down to our existing hardware we have today. And so I think we might be at that base level point where we can have enough in our are cheat boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That still can play the game, so we can still take that material and scale it down. But the people that want to spend the money, they can have the highest end experience that you can imagine. So games are not going to look any worse than they do now, which look awesome, right, on our current hardware. But they'll get even better looking as we go forward, and that's always appealing to me. I mean, people always say gameplay first, and I agree. I mean, I don't think that's wrong, but I'm also a graphics guy. That's what I do. When I'm not playing, I'm
Uh
creating 3D content.
oh. Well,
So
you just kind of put it out there. So just let everybody know. Out of the next podcast crew, the Don is the graphics guy. All right, he's the one.
Yes, the graphics guy.
He's the one who's looking for the pretty visuals and everything like that, which makes sense because he does graphics at home. He does graphics. He said he's working with a small development team now on a game, so it kind of makes sense in that aspect. Now when it comes to the new system, you guys know me with resolution. I could give two shits. All right, like as long as it looks good on the TV. I would rather have them use the resources of the power to, of course, make those bigger worlds, more creative worlds. Uh, that's the biggest thing to me. I want to see some more innovation in gameplay. I think, and I might get cursed out for this. I don't know. I think a lot of gaming today revolves around the first person shooter or the third person shooter and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I love my Halo. I'm definitely going to check out Gears 4, because that game looks, from what I've seen so far, looks incredible. But I think though it's kind of getting stagnant with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a development team comes out and it's like, well, if we really want to make this game successful, there's these just certain categories that sell more than others, and I want to see more innovation in this stuff, which is why I was excited when the X1 came with the Kinect, because I don't know if you guys remember some of the smaller titles, the way that they were using the Kinect, like they had worlds layered over each other, and they were using your silhouette to try for you to kind of figure out how to get through that world and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That innovation right there, I love stuff like that, and I want to see more innovation. I hope we don't get stagnant with the next first person shooter and stuff like that. That's what I want to see. But I do want to shout out to my boy Jimmy on Twitter. Like when we were talking about features, I think we were talking about the X1 we have now. But he tried to mess with me and say, well, when Cortana comes to the X1 we have now, all you have to do is pour water on your X1 and it'll make bread. So I think he was trying to
Yeah,
sabotage me
wow.
there a little bit. But like another thing when Cortana came out, like I already tell my X1 to make me a sandwich all the time. It still hasn't done that. So with the Scorpio, I wanted to be able to make me a sandwich, kind of heat it up like turkey and cheese. That would be awesome. Um,
Wow. He said turkey and cheese.
yeah, it's what I go
Yeah,
with, man. But yeah, a little bacon
yeah.
as well. But
He said little bacon.
yeah. I don't know. Overall, I'm really excited. I can't say I'm surprised. All right, I saw this coming. I saw Microsoft's focus, and it's just going to get better from there. Um, with them, they are committed to the console. I don't want people to get that twisted. They are committed to the console, but they are committed to the console as another consumer base, another community, another device that will do Windows 10 things. That's why they are committed to it. Trust me, Microsoft is not going to turn their back on a community that will shell out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars individually. All right? They're not going to do that. If it wasn't for, how the PS4, was selling this generation, which we've never seen before. All right? If you take that away, um say you put both consoles at where X1 is kind of like estimated to be at, that's still really good sales when it comes to consoles. There's still a consumer base there. All right, and it's a big one. It's a big community, and Microsoft is not going to turn their back on that because guess what? That community spends money. All right.
Well, look at the PlayStation community base, right? You have X number. They're selling a lot of consoles. Let's give them where credit's due, right? We don't know how many it really is. Sometimes they're saying chip sales. Sometimes they say in-home use. But whatever. Around 40 million of hardware that's no longer in their possessions, either in retailers or consumers' possessions, right? But look at the software sales. Software sales are not nearly as high as they should be. So people are using PS4 for all these other random things outside of obviously gaming. Gaming is not their premier reason why they have a PlayStation 4, a big part of that community, right? So if you look at Xbox's new strategy or their kind of announced strategy, everything from a device that plugs into your television that's part of the Xbox brand to doing the Xbox interface on your PC to doing all these different things, they really take care of those people that are a little more or less basically casuals, right? They're not really buying the highest end titles or anything like that. They just want something they can play Netflix and it's tied to their say video account and an occasional game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these different price points address all those issues. And so when you're the type of person that's a little bit more casual and doesn't play, say, the latest game in highest resolution, but it does everything you want to do, and it's $150, $250 cheaper than their competition, that speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the real reason why the PlayStation 1. Let's just be honest. That was the real reason why the PlayStation 1 was because of the price point. We was just coming out of the recession. A lot of people were like, you got a $500 system here, you got a $400 system here. I want a controller, I want a game. By the time that I get this with the PlayStation, I'm going to go ahead. It's going to be cheaper than what it is with the X1. That was the main factor because as much as we are in the gaming know and knowledge of all gaming, the casual fans don't care about that. They don't read the magazines. They just go into GameStop. They see the store. They see the price, and then that's it. They just buy it. That's the one factor. The second factor was that, the marketing and the strategy that PlayStation had was just completely just bit off of what the 360 did, because that's all what the PlayStation 4 is. It's a glorified 360. And the things that we were doing with the 360, the PlayStation community is doing it now. So it still feels new to them. And for a lot of people that's transferred over and went to the PS4 thinking this is going to be this brand new experience, they come to realize that they're in the same world or even worse because they're not getting the quality games. Well, they're getting quality games, but not the games that they were anticipating. So that's, all in all, I think what Microsoft is doing is like, okay, we got to get back into a strategy to get our fan base back, and to make sure that with these consoles, we're going to have them have a price point to where it all works out perfectly for their personal needs.
Yeah.
And I think right there, that strategy is going to be fantastic. I love it. I love it.
Well, for people who are fans of like the Fire Stick or the Apple TV, now Microsoft is coming out with something that is like that, but it has that stuff that Microsoft has. Like you say, you could play your Netflix, all that good stuff, but then you can have like the smaller indie titles. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see. I know like Ori's coming out with the definitive edition. I wouldn't be surprised like games like that will be able to be played on those smaller iterations right there. But yeah, Microsoft is covering every single base up to the, from the most casual of people. Like, shout out to my mom. First mom shout out I've heard on a podcast, but, shout out to my mom who loves playing like Bubble Witch and like those little computer games like that. And she'll be able to play those, on her TV now without trying to hook up her laptop to the TV screen and stuff. I'm not really trying to do that for her. But like I can see them. They have every base covered, and in the end, they want to be in your home, but they also want to be in your pocket. They also want to be pretty much the spot where you get all your content from, and it looks like they are setting themselves out to do that in a major way. And it seems like we are the ones that are going to
Hmm.
benefit from it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, did you hear the rumored price point? That was the biggest thing for me, that this new Xbox would be like $380. I don't believe it, but
No.
if if that's true, if that is true, then the game is over. It's a
Yo, hold on,
wrap.
Don. What do you think about it? You're talking to Scorpio?
Yeah, when I was reading the report, yesterday, that's why I was like, I got kind of tongue tied when he was talking about, well, what all do I want? Because I'm thinking of things like better load times, all that type of stuff. No load times, actually. Just a faster system. But the price point that they had was $380. That would be crazy. And then there was also, with the whole integration with the PC, we're gonna have our predictions coming out Saturday. I'll just hold that until
Yeah, yeah,
Saturday. But
yeah.
but that would be crazy with my prediction that I'm gonna come up with Saturday, and with a price point that's affordable like that. I mean, I don't believe it myself with something that's going to be that powerful. I mean, I would think it was going to be $600, but if they really want to sell this system, I mean, they can afford to undercut themselves to reap the benefits in the
Whew,
future.
whew. Dude, I do. Yeah. Hey, Don, do you want to? Like I said, you have knowledge in these areas and stuff like that. Do
As
you
far as like
believe
price
that?
point,
Well, with your knowledge within like that community and tech and stuff like that, do you really think that something that would be like that powerful, and I hate to use those general terms, but those that 6 to 8 T flop machine, because they are giving themselves that leeway. We didn't even talk about that, like
yeah.
from between 6 to 8 T flops. But do you think with what you know about hardware and stuff like that, do you think they would take that? Sounds like a major hit to me, like a major hit. Like I
I
know.
mean, there's so many sides to the coin on this one, right? I mean, conventional wisdom right
There's
now
supposed to
tells
only
you
be
it's
two sides to a
not
coin,
possible.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, trust me, this is like D&D dice is
Oh
what I'm
no.
thinking about, right? So yeah, I mean, if you conventional wisdom right now tells you, nah, no, not possible. But if you kind of look at what tech is around the corner and how cost savings is going to be affected, I can see it being possible. I'm not saying it is going to happen, but I can see it being possible. If you look at different types of memory, HBM for GPU related graphics, and then you have you know DDR. GDDR4 is dropping down in price. The AMD smells blood in the water, and they want to push the new. We're not even talking GPU. They want to push their whole CPU thing to compete with the Intel
Yeah, that's where they
boys,
basically want
right?
to go, but they know that to capture that, they have to
Yes.
take over GPU first.
Yeah. So yeah. So for example, AMD smells that blood in the water is the best way for them to get you get people on board with that. Well, you get either A, the second, or B, the most popular game console, right?
Hmm.
In everybody's homes, right?
Hmm.
And so then you kind of feed back into the PC crowd. So as the new benchmark. So yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening. I mean, the prices of the chips are coming down. The manufacturing yields are getting better.
That would
Um,
that would be
and,
insane.
and, and all that sort of stuff. So you know, but it's all a game, right? In manufacturing, you're trying to predict. Microsoft right now is trying to predict where is the price of these chips going to be if we buy X number of them.
Yeah.
All right. And they're also basing that number off of how many people are going to be upgrading their PCs around the same time, right?
Hmm.
Because that drives chip price down, right?
Hmm.
So they're trying to
Didn't even
predict
think
all
of
these
that.
different things, and we're talking about just one thing, the GPU performance, which is important, one of the more important things, right? but CPU has to get stronger. And I don't care what people say. The CPU that you're seeing advertised in the Neo, it's not going to be enough to push it forward. You're going to get bottleneck. You're going to have problems. It takes care of kind of the now, but it doesn't take care of the tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to address all those different things. So it's possible, but you have to have other components being flexible between 6 to 8 T-flops. Is they're like, well, are we going to double down on more RAM? What type of RAM are we going to use? What are the prices of that hardware is going to be? That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's their target goal, 380, and that gives them a little bit of a buffer. So if they go over that, they can be at 400, and that would be accepted. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So they just have to be flexible. I mean, no, go ahead, Kmega.
Oh no, all I was going to say is that if you look at it, if that price point is true from what I've seen, then thing that PlayStation did to Microsoft in the beginning of the generation is undercut them. Because if you get the Neo, just think about that. If you want the VR, you're paying for the Neo, which is going to be $400. The VR is going to be what, $500? $100. Then you got to buy the Move, which is going to be 60, and that camera is going to be 60. You're coming off $1,000. When all you have to do is just buy this new system for about $380 to $400, that would be crazy, and it's going to be more powerful than the Neo. That's kind of like a slap you back in the face for you trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to play games because we over here we had these negotiations about the whole DRM and all this always online, and now you try to play funny. Now, okay, we can play games too, and we can afford to do it, which you can't financially. You need financial backing. So I think that it would behoove them to do it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know anything about the prices of chips or anything. I'm just going by what I read. But by what TheDon is saying, it makes perfect sense. Go for it. Because they'll make so much money back. And my last point, you don't have to trade in your old console to get a system that's like $380 to $400. You just go ahead and buy that. For a lot of people that just want to get systems. Yeah.
I say a lot of people.
I mean, some people will. Yeah, some people. But I'm just saying. But you don't really have to trade that because you're not, betting off the farm to get a new system.
All right,
I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanna shout out to somebody in the chat, and I wanna kind of respond to what somebody was saying. My boy Jimmy out there in the chat, Mr. Bread Machine, I'm gonna call him for the day, but he said that we don't need the modular thing. He said a month ago, yes, but with the new cards getting revealed, the game has changed. And Jimmy, man, I love you to death. I'm so glad you're watching this right now, but I have to disagree with you, man. If it isn't for the modular thing, all right, you're going after these consoles. You're going straight to a streaming service. At least with the next iteration of the Xbox being modular. All right, it guarantees your time with your console longer. For those traditionalists out there that don't really they look down at that whole streaming service thing and stuff like that. They want to have their hardware next to their TV or wherever they put it. Having a modular system is going to lengthen that time for them. But it's also going to lengthen the time for Microsoft as well to make sure they iron out every kink and stuff like that. Because both Sony and Microsoft, at the end of the day, their main goal is to have subscription game playing services out there. Sony's going to use the PlayStation name on their streaming service. All right, and that's going to help them sell more TVs and stuff, maybe get other divisions out of the red. Jimmy's talking about like the new specs, and I can see where Jimmy's coming from with this, but Jim, these new specs now are gonna change 2 years from now. Trust me. All right, you have like GPU architecture in the pipeline that's coming fairly soon, that is gonna blow this out of the water. So, Don, you
to
agree?
iterate on that for Jimmy, just to speak to Jimmy specifically because he took the time to come out and talk to us, right?
Yeah.
Um, this all leaked from a developer conference, right? So they're basically saying, okay, we're close enough to finalizing our hardware, and to developers, plan around this is what they're telling them. You
Mm-hmm.
can do something up to this, and we're gonna make our best to make the most powerful hardware possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the whole modular thing, the way DirectX 12 works is you can plug in multiple GPUs in the same piece of hardware. And how it's designed to do, it's very easy for developers to take advantage of that. Well, I should say very easy. Not a lot of developers have to take advantage of it, but that's the end goal, right?
Yeah.
So having it modular, it makes sense. It makes sense for those people that want that. They want that additional power. They can, and the modular units may not even be Microsoft units. They might be licensed out third-party GPUs that will plug into the
I think they're
the
gonna.
system.
I
We
think they're
don't
gonna
know.
do that. I mean, at the heart of it, the GPUs, I believe, are gonna be AMD, but I think they're gonna have different companies with different like shell stylings and stuff like that, different customizations. Make your system look like your own. You know, kind of like how. And I relate it loosely to PC because there's this whole stigma and stuff like that. But PC, when they're creating a rig, you know, you have them with the blue LEDs all over the place and all sorts of clear windows, and some of the towers look absolutely amazing. Like it's incredible. I wouldn't even want to play a game on that to break it. You know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
because they look so good. But yeah, I could definitely see like third party as long as the I still believe that Microsoft's going to roll with AMD, and you know they're that as long as the at the core those that GPU is in there. Yeah, I could definitely see third party coming in with different stylized modular pieces to add to the
Well,
system.
on top of that, like PC CPU architecture has slow down. Does that make sense? So if your base CPU in there is really really powerful and your dial
Uh,
right,
be
and
careful,
you
man. You're starting to
have
fade
a
here.
good 16. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Let's say six T flops just for the argument's sake, right? Um, then really your CPU doesn't have to get much more powerful from there if you use what like basically equivalent to what an i7 is, right?
Mhm.
So, and it may get more powerful down there. We don't know, right? But that jump in technology has been slowed down dramatically, but GPU hasn't. GPU keeps on going. So,
I got you, man.
Mm. Shout out to our boy Newark Will. He backed what I was saying about the discless Xbox One. I guess it's going to be the Slim or
Hmm.
whatever. That is going to be $199. Shout out to Kev. He made a comment up there earlier
I didn't
that
see
was saying
Kev,
that
man.
that's a yeah. He popped up in there. He was, I don't know if he's still on, but yeah. Shout out to you, bro. Um, but he was saying that that's impossible. That they're not going to do that. But you got the Don and Will Nort. You know what I'm saying? Those dudes are tech heads, man. I wouldn't, yeah, and Xbot. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are the tech heads, man. I wouldn't debate them too much by saying, and I know that
well,
Kev, you're a tech head too, so
well, thank you for
maybe
throwing me
one
in
day.
there, by the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, no, you
way.
got, you know what I'm saying? When y'all start talking about the architecture and this and that, man, it started, I was about to grab the controller for a minute and start
Oh,
gaming. No, I'm just playing.
I got you. Yeah,
No, I'm just
definitely
playing. No,
shout out to Will.
it's excellent stuff to know, man. Because for some things I do know, to hear you guys bring it up and collaborate with it is just what makes this podcast even more special to me because of the factor that you guys can talk about the what's in the guts of the system.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with the system. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we kind of like wind this down?
I'm excited for E3 predictions. I wanted to comment on some stuff, but I want to save some for our podcast on Saturday. So,
Yeah, it's kind of hard doing this. I like I said, I was just kind of impromptu. I was like, man, I was thinking, I was like, man, I should do a video on this, but I was like, you know what, like, I'd rather have something that goes closer to the subscriber base. Have people come in and talk about it, and talk about it with a couple of my people, a couple of my friends, and it's a lot of fun doing stuff like this.
We were
man.
going to talk about it anyways. We'd just be playing Halo in the background, so now we get
Mm-hmm.
to talk to everybody else.
That's
at the same
exactly what I
time.
was thinking, man. Oh my goodness. But Mega, is there anything else you wanted to say before we put in our plugs and then kind of be on our way? I know
No.
Don's about to hit Spartan rank 100 today in Halo, by the way. So just want to let you know that.
Yeah, I got to do some catching up. So I need to jump on and play some myself. The only thing I will say that's kind of not in this topic is that please, reviewers, stop giving games 10s. Overwatch is fun as hell. Overwatch is a blast to play, but it is not a 10. It doesn't even have story mode. How can Overwatch have a better score than Halo 5 and it doesn't have a story mode?
Oh my goodness.
Can somebody tell me this? Can somebody tell me this?
Oh my goodness.
And it doesn't have as many modes. Come on, guys. Come on. That's why don't just listen to YouTubers, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to these review guys because they have lost their damn minds. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. All right, I'm done.
he went there. He went there.
I had to.
Guys, just want to let you know on Twitter, gaming related, something I've been waiting for, and I am downloading it as soon as it's available. It'll be available today. Backwards compatibility, SSX. Oh my goodness.
What? Are you serious?
Yo, Larry Herb just tweeted it out, man.
Oh man, I'm finna go to the store right now and see if it's on
Oh,
there.
dude,
Man.
I bought it digital on the 360. I've just been waiting for it to come out. I am so happy right now.
Now get that Soul Calibur 5 and that Virtual Fighter 5, and we're in Red Dead, of course, and we're in business.
Oh my goodness.
In some business. Well, in Fight Night,
dude.
Yeah, get Fight Night back as well.
Not for anything, just for me personally, this has been an awesome last couple days. I mean, I was talking to one of those pro PlayStation guys who brought up install base when it came to Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4, saying they actually did pretty good considering install base. So from there on out, I was like, all right, now it's okay to talk about install base when we talk about game sales, which was a really good day for me. All right, then the next day, all of a sudden, this whole Scorpio thing drops, and that kind of solidifies what I've been saying for months now. So that was a good day for me. And now today I get to play SSX. I am happy.
Yes, nice. Yeah, now they're starting to change their whole perspective. I'm starting to see the damage control already because of everybody's talked about the specs of the Scorpio, and now it doesn't matter about the power. It's all about the games.
Well,
really?
Well, that's not really
really
on that side, right? I mean, outside of third party, right? I mean, there's a couple of first parties those guys like, and some Japanese games that those guys like, and respect to that. But yeah, it's just that's not everyone's cup of tea, man.
Yeah, so but shout out to PlayStation Nation for trying to hold on to your dream because it seems like it's going to be shattered.
I was gonna say, man, it's been kind of refreshing, and Twitter has been really quiet when it comes to people coming in with troll comments and stuff like that. It's been pretty refreshing because usually I'll put something on Twitter and I'll have somebody come out and just try to turn it to their own pony agenda and stuff like that. But I gotta say, today it's been really quiet on Twitter in terms of the trolls. It hasn't been quiet in terms of people talking. I absolutely love the Twitter community. If it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't know people like Gamer Knows Best, She Wolf, Foxfire, even the guys over at Four Guys with Quarters. I got to shout out to you guys, Console Corner, Four Guys with Quarters, of course, Xbox Nation, all you guys. It's an awesome community on Twitter, and that's why I'm trying to get more and more people involved in it. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for now. A little impromptu stream. I don't know, guys. Let me know if you like stuff like this. Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit Kmega up on Twitter. Of course, Don. Will Fooskies, of course, O Snap Suckers, and let us know, if you want to see more things like this, especially when news drops and stuff like that. But guys, it's time to plug. Kmega, what do you got to plug for us today?
Hey man, this is your boy Kmega405. Man, I'm the low man on the totem pole when it comes to subs. Man, support my channel. It's Kmega405. Hit me up on Twitter. I've been lighting these ponies up. You know what I'm saying? And then some of these Xbox that get out besides themselves and don't stay into the realm of the community. Hit me up on Kmega. What is it? At Kmega4 on Twitter, and then shout out to my people at Hard Knock. I say Hard Knock Games. Well, the recap, and then shout out to my my people at Intro Media Gaming, Mr. 100 and them. You know what I'm saying, and of course, man, it's a blessing to be on the podcast with my boy 448 and TheDon, and just doing this whole new next thing. This is fantastic. So thank you.
Nice man. I appreciate it. Yo, Don.
Mm-hmm.
Don, one thing I do have to say, Don, man, you have to get your portfolio up on Twitter. But you got some plugs for us, man.
Just on Kmega's point, like I was introduced to Kmega from XBot, right? And Kmega comes from common sense. Yeah, I like his channel a lot. So if you're into common sense and you're into gaming, that's pretty much what Kmega is all about. So definitely check him out.
Appreciate it.
On my front, don't have any channels or anything like that in the works as of yet. There are some things I'm thinking about. I just have to work out things because I do have contracts and stuff like that, so I can't just like present like graphic stuff willy-nilly when I feel like it on YouTube and that sort of thing. But I'm here to bridge the gap, right? I come as a gamer, but I also am now part of the development community. And Xbox is my favorite platform, but I don't have any hate for any of the other consoles or anything like that. But where I only own an Xbox, I only own a PC. These are the platforms I play on. This is the part that I'm mostly into. So I'm glad to hang out with a bunch of guys that they're into that sort of stuff. And I will have my portfolio up on Twitter. Give me about 2 weeks. I want to add some additional content to it. So if you guys are kind of curious, if I'm the real deal or not, I'll have some more stuff. I know Xbox can contest to some of my work already.
Mm-hmm. Not only me, but Italian Clowns as well from Four Guys.
Yeah,
he saw
Italian,
it too.
Yeah, Italian Clowns he's interested in that stuff, so he took a little bit of a peek too as well. So, I'm gonna make that a little bit more public for you guys. Maybe have a link for Xbox to put in the videos who are kind of curious. That way you can reach out to me, development community and gamers. So
nice. All right, guys. Well, we're about to wind it down. I just want to let people know that the next podcast, episode 2, will be Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So adjust it to wherever you live on the globe. Definitely tune in to the next podcast. We are doing our E3 predictions, and we are going to have a mystery guest. And no, his name is not Mr. E. Okay? It's a mystery guest. You'll know when you tune in. I'm really excited, man. I'm actually a fan, so this is really cool. Not only that, I will be on Mooch's Crossfire Friday, 6 p.m. as well. People love that 6 p.m. man. It's a nice time slot.
It's an East Coast thing.
But I will be there. I can't wait to talk with Crap Gamer, Mooch, Southbound, Randall Thor. Especially with this week, man. This week has been a crazy week. But guys, I thank you guys for stopping in. Kmega TheDon. I know this was last minute. I really appreciate it. I thank everybody in the chat. Yo, guys, thank you for stopping by. Like I said, I know this was last minute, but I kind of live on a whim, so I hope you guys can handle it. But as I say on my videos, as for now, this is the Xbot 448, and I am definitely signing off.